Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is October 17th, 2023. We are on our way to Kitech. It's going to be a busy day. So we have a FAT, a factory acceptance test on some equipment on Thursday of this week. So today and tomorrow, I'm leading a team to clean up the whole shop, move stuff around, get it really presentable for having our clients out, which should be a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to that. But I woke up thinking about the time I spent at Sandler. And it got me thinking about my journal in general. And I haven't revisited the past very much lately. So I want to start reintroducing people to who is Justin Stevens. So that's what my focus is going to be for the next couple days. Anyways, my name is indeed Justin Stevens. So I am from Boise, Idaho. I am the middle son of 4. So I've got an older sister, an older brother, me, and a younger brother. So I like to pretend I'm the well-adjusted middle child. It's very exciting stuff right there. So growing up, we grew up in Roby Creek, Idaho. Roby Creek, Idaho is up in the middle of nowhere. It's a road about an hour outside of Boise. I don't know how long the road is, but there's no stores, there's no shops, there's no lights. There's like 2 stop signs. Like it is very rural. And so I grew up in the mountains. I grew up surrounded by trees and hills, and we tramped through them religiously. It was a ton of fun. So when I was 13 years old, we lived in Roby Creek, Idaho. I went to school at LeBois Junior High School, and it was between 8th and 9th grade. And it was in 1999. My parents at the time owned a remodeling company, a plumbing company, and an electrical company. And my mom was, I think, the first or second female president of NARI, which is the National Association of the Remodeling Industry. So she was very high up and got to meet a lot of very successful remodelers all across the country. And the one thing they all had in common was they used this system called Sandler training to train their people. And no matter where they were, if they were in Sandler, they were doing typically better than people not in Sandler. So my parents started looking into it. They started looking for a trainer to come train their companies, and found out it would be as expensive to hire a trainer to come fly to Idaho, middle of nowhere. This is in 1999, so back then we really were in the middle of nowhere. So get someone to fly to Idaho, train the people on a regular basis was going to cost more than it would cost to buy the entire franchise. So my dad ended up buying a Sandler sales training franchise. So we had an hour drive to and from work, and on that drive, we would listen to cassette tapes of sales training. And one day I said, "Dad, what do you do now?" And he said, "I want to show you instead of tell you." So that summer between 8th and 9th grade, I spent 2 hours every Wednesday in President's Club, sales training. I was surrounded by 30, 40, 50-year-old business owners and salespeople completely outside my comfort zone and anything I'd ever done like that. So I'm surrounded by all these successful business people, and I'm put in an environment that I've never been put in before. And it started to change the way I look at life and way I process life and the way I held myself. And I started to learn and come out of my shell, which was amazing. It was a ton of fun. So that was in 1999 that I, 13 years old, first went through Sandler training. And it changed my life. I believe that summer is my ultimate competitive advantage. I got sales training years and years and years before anyone else my age. And most people do ever. And the world is nothing more than people selling people on ideas. Excuse me. So the world is us all selling each other on our ideas. So the sooner you learn how to sell and how to communicate, the better off you'll be. So after going through sales training between 8th and 9th grade, I continued living life as a kid, ended up going to the University of Idaho up in Moscow, Idaho. I got a BS in marketing. And I chose marketing because I didn't know what I wanted to do when I got older, and I figured at the very least I'd have to market myself. Which is true. So I got my BS in marketing. After college, I was looking for a job. This is in the 2000. I graduated in May. I believe it was May 2008. It may have even been 2009. No, it was 2009 because me and Emily met in 2010. And that was 6 months after I started at Sandler. So, May 2009, graduate college. I go to Spokane, Idaho. I was in a fraternity. I'm a Fiji. So I went to Spokane, Idaho, where a friend of mine had a farm, and my girlfriend at the time lived up there. So after college, I moved up there, was trying to find a job and keep this relationship going. My friend ended up, his family had a farm. They hired me as a farmhand while I job hunted. So that was a ton of fun. That's where I truly learned I'm built for a desk job. So, farming is a metric crap ton of work. My hat's off to every farmer out there. Thank you for feeding us and taking care of us as a society. So, in August 2009, my parents reached out. At the time, we had the Sandler training business. And then by this time, they were down to just the remodeling business. Well, 2008 was a huge financial crash all around real estate, which collateral damage, it's remodeling. And at that point in time, the bulk of our Sandler clients were also remodeling companies. So the remodeling company lost its business, and the Sandler sales training company lost a ton of business there. So I was able to come and work for free, work for housing. And that's how I got my start in Sandler. So I slept in my parents' basement. I put in my sweat equity, was helping out. Started out admin. I ran at Sandler. We did remote training all the time. So I ran the remote training. We had this little desk in the back of the training room with multiple monitors and camera angles and all kinds of fun stuff. So that's when I first started getting into training, was actually producing trainings for my dad as he was doing sales trainings. I was at Sandler for 9 years, almost 10 years. I grew through the company. I did admin. I helped with accounting. I did prospecting a ton. I did coaching. I did training. I learned a ton at Sandler. And it was a ton of fun. There's nothing I've enjoyed more than being a trainer. Like doing Sandler training, as far as fulfilling work over all the different jobs and industries, there's nothing I've enjoyed more than the training aspect of it. So it was a ton of fun, and I learned a ton. And so I was there. I worked with Sandler for 9 years. For 2 of those years, maybe 2.5, Sandler Corporate, so the franchisor, hired me to come in and help build their Sandler online platform, sell it, grow it. So I did that for a while. I got to work with franchisees from all over the world. I got to see how they all built their own Sandler businesses and the decisions they were making and how they were setting everything up. It was a ton of fun. And ultimately, I left. I created a product, and then I was selling the product. I was, for whatever reason, selling it at making too much commission. They changed the commission plan, and I left. Do not, under any circumstance, mess with someone's commission plan without them being involved in the changes, unless you want them to leave, which maybe they did want me to leave. Who knows? So I went back to working with my parents and our local franchise. At this time, I was a trainer and coach and in sales, doing prospecting, marketing, building the business. And it still is a small business. And my dad still does it. If anyone out there needs sales training, my dad is how I learned sales training. And I learned it from years and years and years spent working with him, listening to him, building a business with him. He is very good at what he does. So I started back with the local franchise and started building the business. And at this time is when I really started getting into marketing. And I found a guy by the name of Russell Brunson here in Meridian, Idaho. So Russell Brunson is the founder and owner of ClickFunnels, which is a landing page software. And he is an excellent salesman. So he is really good at getting new clients in the door. And that's one of the things I've learned on this whole journey. A business is not just about getting new clients in the door. If all you're doing is getting new clients in the door and they leave 6 months later, you're building a really hard business. You've got to figure out, how can I get clients in the door and get them to stay for 2, 3, 4 years? Totally different business, totally different operating systems and processes, and different outcomes. So I started learning from Russell Brunson. I ended up going to Funnel Hacking Live in 2018. It was a life-changing experience. That's actually where I met Tony Robbins, or saw Tony Robbins in person for the first time, which that in and of itself was life-changing. So I go to, this was February 2018. No, 2017. I go to Funnel Hacking Live. Oh, it was 2018, because November 2018 is when I left Sandler. So, early 2018, I'm still with Sandler. I go to Funnel Hacking Live. I learn a ton, and I'm working on implementing it into our Sandler franchise. And I'm trying to figure out, how can I build this business using the digital world as well as the real world? So that, at the time, I didn't look at it like that, but that's essentially what I was trying to do. I wanted to build a system to attract clients through marketing, through content creation, and building how we built our business that would systemize it and make it an easier business to build. So that was my whole goal with ClickFunnels. Well, I kept trying different things. And as you may or may not know, with business and life, everything comes down to you've got to fail long enough to succeed. Like, the long and short of it is, we all are awful when we start, but we get better. So I was on a mission to figure out, how do I build the sales training business easier? How do I leverage my time and the assets I have access to better to get it growing? Which is a very valid question. So we got, oh man, look at those conveyors. They're part of our FAT. We do a ton of conveyors if anybody needs them. Man. Well, that's a great cliffhanger right there. I'll pick up tomorrow at Funnel Hacking Live 2018. That's my goal. And then I'll tell you guys about Tony Robbins. We went to UPW that summer trying to implement marketing secrets into our business, leaving Sandler, all of that. Oh, it's going to be fun. All right. Have a great day, everybody. We'll talk to you tomorrow.